Hello to you. So you join me once again in a small sample roundup. To review, if you didn't watch the last video, I like to do a lot of my reviewing out of sample bottles because they just don't take as much space or money on my part. But sometimes I get sample bottles where I don't have enough. I don't have like the 25 milliliters I need to do like a full like pre-review prep sheet. And so I basically have to just pour these things on the fly and review them. And I did that last time with Randy's. We're doing it this time with rum. I started recording this video earlier and got a phone call. So they are already poured. I haven't really started getting tasting notes going at all. Anyway, so you may think this is just going to be a random assortment of rums. And you would be sort of wrong. You see, there's actually a lot in common between these two distilleries. We're talking about Savanna, and we're talking about El Dorado or Diamond or Demerara distillers, depending on how you want to refer to them. Both of these distilleries make an enormous range of different kinds of rum, and that makes them remarkable. So Savanna in the Indian Ocean, they make high ester pot still rum, and they also make very low ester column still rum. They make cane juice rum, and they make molasses based rum. They make a ton of different kinds of rum, and they can age them in different kinds of casks, and they can blend all this stuff. So if someone just hands you a glass of Savanna, you don't necessarily know anything about what you're getting into. And that makes them kind of fun. They used to be more fun because before they got extortionately expensive on the secondary market. I guess the collectibles folks found out or something. I don't know. Anyways, but they have a spiritual partner of sorts over in Guyana in South America. For a very different reason. I mean, Savanna was basically set up to make all sorts of different kinds of rum. El Dorado, different kind of story. They're kind of the descendant and the inheritor and the repository of a whole bunch of older Demerara rum distilleries that closed. So they ended up being like this warehouse of cool different stills, and they use all of them. Most notably, a bunch made out of wood that are getting on to centuries old at this point. All right, so those are our two distilleries that we're dealing with, and let's get through these. I'm going to start with the Savanna because this is a cane juice rum. It's a very, very old cane juice rum, but it's a cane juice rum. This is an independent bottling, the Duchess La Réunion, 19-year-old 2003 Savanna, cask 5 at 67.2% alcohol. So yeah, this is it's I guess you could call it an agricole rum. I mean, it's from the French overseas territories, but it's also very, very old. I mean, God, look at this color. So I'm expecting this to bring the wood. Let's see what we got. Okay, there's a lot of wood on this. I don't really know the history of this cask, but just from the quantity of splinters flying up into my face from this glass, I would have to imagine this spent most of its life maturing tropically in a very warm environment. There's just a lot of wood. And the alcohol, I'm not going to lie, is spiking for me. It's very nippy on this. It's kind of getting hard to get a grip, making it hard to get a grip on exactly what's going on. I mean, it's very aromatic. I don't want to say perfumey, or even like, it's not really exotic woods. It's almost like an exotic spice cabinet or something. I'm gonna need a second with this one. Yeah, maybe rose water is what I. Ooh, Turkish delight. That's yes. Yeah, you know the candies you get on Turkish Airlines when you halfway through the flight, on your way to somewhere else in Europe or something, and and they just give you these awesome little candies. That's what this smells like. But you're gonna like rub down your Turkish delight with like grass and like slightly browning pine needles and menthol and basil. Whew. Coffee, definitely some coffee going on. Like like vanilla coffee with a little bit of like vanilla creamer in there, but like good vanilla creamer, homemade vanilla creamer. Does this exist? Something there's like a vanilla coffee thing going on, but actually good. Cinnamon sticks, yeah. Nutmeg, clove. Hints of aniseed, light hints. Okay, now I'm starting to get a grip on what this is doing. It's a good nose. It's a little bit of a brute. The wood and the alcohol are, they're really aggressive, and it's kind of hard, not just to get what's going on, but it's also just like physically hard to stick your nose in the glass a little bit. But hey, that's why water exists, right? But I'm going to try this neat first. 19 years of oak aging on this. Remember, I was complaining about the Isaudiers I tasted a while. I was complaining about those being too oaky. So I'm a little scared. Let's see what happens. Oh. It is obnoxiously oaky, but it kind of holds it together. Oh, Jesus. This kind of reminds me of the some of the Trinidad, the Angosturas, the old Angostura column-distilled rums that I've had, where they're on the verge of being, well, in fact, they are too oaky. This is kind of too oaky for me, but like within that style, it's like being thrown into a lake made of wood and suddenly discovering you have wood gills and can breathe the wood water. Where the hell did that come from? So lots of wood, but there's layers and textures, and it doesn't, even within the kind of overwhelming wood character of this, it's not unbalanced. Put it that way. A lot of wood, and the alcohol nip is not helping. Wood. Overstewed English breakfast tea all day long. But you're gonna take a like huge candy cane and stick it into your tea, and that's kind of the core of what's going on. It's like minty candy cane overstewed tea, but it's like really good. All right, one more time. Black pepper. That vanilla coffee thing again. Oh, Jesus. Wood. And the candy cane. Basil as well. The menthol is here. A little cinnamon. Not as much as I was expecting. Yeah, the candy cane thing is kind of crazy. All right, I'm going to give this some water. See where we get. This is going to take at least 5 squirts, probably more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I don't want this to do is to throw it off balance, because it's already really woody, and if it gets off balance, it's not going to be an easy time. I'm still going another half squirt. I'm going to go 5.5. I'm going to throw in that other half. Won't make it 6. Jesus. What a monster. I'm beginning to regret a little bit putting the El Dorado second. I just figured, you know, we're going with an agricole first. It'll be a softie, right? No. All right. All right. I have got 2 El Dorado picks, I guess you can say, special blends. This first one, the youngest of the bunch, is a 2012 10-year-old El Dorado single cask picked by the Green Zone and Seelbach. Seelbach is an online retailer based in DC, and the Green Zone is it's a famous DC bar that's heavily rum themed. I've never been there, but I would love to head over someday. They have quite a good reputation. Let's see what's happening on the nose. Actually, relatively reserved on the nose. Usually these things are hopping out at me with like, you know, like smoke and toffee and like leather and stuff. This not so much. Okay, I'm getting a little smoke and toffee. Black pepper, but pretty quiet on the nose. Darjeeling, more like leaves than stewed tea. Kind of like along with the smoke, there's a little bit of like a campfire ash thing, like partially burned leaves. But it's certainly not as like aromatically aggressive as the Savanna was. Okay, there's a little bit of like oh, what is that? Like this is gonna sound silly, but like leathery, like soy saucy leather. So take some leather and like rub some soy sauce on it and smell it. Maybe something like that. And some kind of tobacco, like aromatic tobacco, Carolina Brightleaf. Okay. Maybe the nose will kind of wake up with water. We shall see. On the palate, it's delicious. It's very chill, is the first way I would describe it, at least after the Savanna. Certainly, you can tell this is, you know, a 10-year-old tropically matured rum. The wood is there, but this feels very chill after the Savanna. What are we getting? We're getting caramel, campfire ash, black pepper. I hate to say it, but brown sugar, or even like what is the kokoto, even kokoto, better description. Straight up blackstrap molasses. Yep, that's here. A little bit of like a balsamico reduction. That soy sauce thing again. It's nice. It's oh, and a little bit of like almost like chicken bouillon. A little bit of a savory touch. Yeah, it's more restrained than I was kind of expecting. It's more, I don't know, desserty as well. It's nice. This is a very easy drinking rum, and I appreciate that. It's also, I could get into trouble with this being 55.1% alcohol. Nice. It reminds me a little bit of, it's a slightly weightier version of that one from, what was it, 3 Dots and a Dash I tried a year or two ago. I'm going to give this some water. We'll come back to it. 2, 3. I'm going to guess 4, but we'll see. That's 3 so far. 4. We'll go 4. And finally, another El Dorado pick. So incidentally, these are not single still things. I think these are blends of, you're going to get the Saval column stills, a couple of the heritage wooden stills. I don't know exactly. Okay, so but this is the El Dorado single cask Prestige-Ledroit or Ledroit, depending on how American or French you are. 54.5% alcohol. Prestige-Ledroit is a distributor in Maryland, as I recall. I think the Maryland area. And yeah, this is their El Dorado pick. Let's and it was distilled in 2011. It is 11 years old. Let's see what we got. On first approach, quite similar on the nose, similarly reserved as well. So again, a campfirey element, like a burned leafy element. S'mores happening now. It's very smoky, leathery, a little bit of tar. Fennel happening here as well. Some fruits. What fruits? No, it's not fruit. This is, I'm sorry, Swisher Sweets. I am smelling Swisher Sweets smoke on this. And then yeah, it's some fun like leathery, savory notes, reminding me a little bit of like sherried Scotch, like hardcore sherried Scotch, beef bouillon, leather, soy sauce again. It smells a little bit more hardcore than the Green Zone one, but it's similarly like chill, I would say, on the palate. Follows the same kind of path as the nose. Very much like the previous glass, but just a hair bit more savory and hardcore. Yeah. S'mores, like burned s'mores, more so than like caramel or toffee. Lots of like used coffee grinds happening, campfire ash, leafiness, fennel, Swisher Sweets ash. But it does have that same kind of black molasses thing. Interesting. The Koto is also still there. But it just has that little bit extra, like, you know, almost burned leather kind of thing. The savory, the bullion thing is not really showing up on the palate. It's more smoky and peppery. Good mouthfeel and mouth length on both of these. Finish is pretty good. And they're just easy drinking. I enjoy drinking these, and considering the strength, I could get into trouble with these pretty easily. Session rums. These are session rums. All right, we're going to add some more water to that. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to do 4. And let's go back through. Back to the Duchess Savanna. God help me. Here we go. On the nose. Ooh. So the water actually makes this converge a little bit with the Guyanas. There's some, like, again, some campfire smoke coming out of this. But it's as if you threw some, like, cherry incense into the campfire with it. So there's a little hint of, like, really aromatic cherry smoke as well. No, the weird herbaceousness and spice character that I was getting on this from before is still there. The Turkish Delight is still there. The menthol, the basil, that little grassy thing. What I'm happy about is it doesn't smell like the wood has been thrown off balance by the water. That's a good sign. Yeah, aniseed. Yeah, really what the water seems to have done is to, aside from just toning down the nippiness and the kind of, you know, immediate aggression of this stuff, is to bring out, yeah, that kind of campfire-y with cherry incense kind of thing, which I like. Let's see what happens in the palate. Cool. Oh, this is going to be a tough one to score, because the finish is really, really, really long. Like, I could go take a walk for 10 minutes, come back, I would still be tasting this. Something in the other room is singing children's songs. The mouth length is outstanding. This is going basically into my lungs, that I am still tasting it. It feels very good in my mouth too. It's not, it isn't really coating my mouth in the same way that, like, a serious pot still rum would be doing, but it's pretty darn good. But there's a little bit of a monolithic character to this. Let me try it again. Yeah. Overstewed candy cane tea. A little bit of that cherry campfire smoky thing from the nose has crept through too. But this, I mean, there's a density of flavor to this that is not all that. It's not that all that forthcoming. It's just all one big block that kind of does goes into your mouth, completely dominates your senses, and then doesn't really change, doesn't really show depth. It just kind of, punches punches you in the face a little bit, and that's fine. Like I'm not saying this is bad. This is really, really good. I'm just saying there's this. For me, this is not reaching greatness, if I can put it that way. It's right there. It's right there. If it were just a little bit more open knit, a little bit more friendly and forthcoming, this would hit 90. As it is, very good rum, 89 plus. And in retrospect, I really should have put this at the end of the lineup because I just thought, oh, agricole rum, that should go first, right? I played myself. All right, back to the the Green Zone pick. Here we go. Ooh, okay. Maple syrup coming through now. Like the grungy stuff. This is grade B maple syrup. The good stuff. And yeah, it's so like just cool and clean and easygoing. Like you can absolutely see why the British Admiralty would make this style kind of the core of the top blends, because it's just it's very friendly. There's complexity to it, but it's very just, you can crush this without much problem. Yeah, that's the main development on the nose from before is a little bit of maple syrup creeping in, which I'm okay with. Let's see what happens in the palate. Gets a little bit more peppery. Good finish, holds on pretty darn well. Let me try that one more time with this. Yeah. Aside from improved mouthfeel, a little bit of a longer finish, and the pepperiness coming out to play. Not a ton of development on this with the addition of water, but that's okay. I gotta say, in terms of like sheer complexity, nowhere near what the Savanna is doing. But on an average day, coming home from work, feeling super duper tired, I would prefer to have a glass of this. Yeah. Has complexity, but really just the appeal here is it's crushable. It's very, very drinkable. 86 points. 86 points for the Green Zone Seelbach's El Dorado pick. Good stuff. Moving on to the Prestige-Ledroit, whatever, pick. I did add water to this, right? I mean, it smells basically the same. Yeah, it smells basically the same. Now I'm questioning myself. No, I think I know I added water to this, right? Because it was the same number as the previous glass. Anyways, same notes as before. Burn s'mores, smoke, some leather. It's nice. On the palate. Yeah, I mean, you can see the extra year kind of doing a little bit of work. There's a little bit more vanilla, a little bit more like graham cracker happening. It just, yeah, it gives it a hair bit more character, mainly leaning in the direction of graham cracker, to be honest. A little bit more savoriness. And with the previous one, the pepper came out on the palate. Same thing with this, but just a little bit more. A little bit more pepper, a little bit more mouth length, a little bit longer finish, a little bit better mouthfeel. Everything about this, and I don't want to make the folks at Green Zone mad, but everything about this is just a little hair step better than the previous glass. A little more savory, a little more grippy. $86 plus, or no, I'm going to go 87 on this. It gets there. 87 points. That being said, in the end of day, exhausted, just want to have a glass of something scenario, I still might go for the Green Zone one. Yeah, I could see why they do this as a bar pick. It's just so easy to drink in a way that the other two, not even the other El Dorado, reaches. Yeah, and that's the video. We cracked 30 minutes. All right, so what's our summation? The Duchess Savanna. This is real good. It's also really hardcore and really monolithic, and it's gonna test you a little bit. I'm sure this is also extortionately expensive. 89 plus. Does not reach greatness, but we're right there. The Green Zone Seelbach El Dorado pick, 86 points. The Prestige-Ledroit pick, 87 points. And that's the lineup. Thanks for watching, and cheers.